So for every 17 prisons, there is one college facility built. According to Fox News, states spend almost 4 times per capita on incarcerating inmates than educating students. The government is simply telling us as students that it is highly more ethical to invest money into prisons than into schools. So today I will be discussing how the government is overspending on incarcerated inmates and underspending on federal schools. So by first talking about the problems, second the causes, before finally taking a look at the implications. Now we'll talk about the problems. A lot of money is being poured into the jails and inmate holding facilities. Incarcerated inmates are taking an enormous portion of the taxpayers' money. According to the New York Times on August 23, 2014, the city of New York's annual cost per inmate is $168,000 a year. The average household income is slightly over $50K a year, meaning that every inmate is basically 12 people in the state of New York. For California, we are actually spending $47,000 a year on every inmate, which is a lot less than they are spending in New York, and the average household income is slightly under $62,000 a year in California, meaning that that's a 4-person family. So, according to a study that the Independent Budget Office released, taxpayers are asking themselves where so much money is being spent on these inmates. Currently, 2/3 of these costs go towards security and health care for the inmates. Also, according to the Legislative Analyst Office in the state of California alone, the U.S. isn't spending enough money for educational funding. The United States isn't spending enough money for educational funding, and it is obvious in certain areas of the state. So according to CNN Money, last updated on October 25th, 2015, it states that only $8,500 a year is being invested on average into each student. So if anything, we as university students know that tuition costs have gone up in the recent years, and that change comes with less governmental help for students that need it financially. According to CNN Money, states have been slashing funding for higher education over the past decade, and the cuts go even deeper during the Great Recession. State budgets for universities have been cut about 20% since 2008, according to the report. So like I said, the government is only investing about $8,500 a year on average per student in the grades K through college. So next I will talk about the causes of overspending on prison facilities. So now we'll speak about the causes on why so much money is being poured into the jail systems and why so little money is being spent on the educational system. Like I mentioned earlier, New York Times stated that about 2/3 of the costs go towards security and healthcare for the inmates, meaning that a huge portion of the money is being paid to the correctional officers and facility workers. Overspending on prisons is evident. The common household income in the state of New York is just a little over $50,000 a year, like I said earlier. It doesn't make sense that the government is spending $168,000 on a single imprisoned inmate, which is more than 3 times what the average family in New York makes. So lastly, I will state the implications. According to Rebecca Klein, an editor from the Huff Post, last updated June 11, 2014, perhaps the state spend more money on educating students, then they will not have to spend so much money on keeping the prisoners incarcerated. This only makes common sense to the average taxpayer. The best way to battle this problem would begin with dealing with the most important role models that this nation has, which is us as students. When it comes to taxpayers, it is costing taxpayers across the United States $39 billion a year to fund the prison system, and only $2.5 billion of those dollars are going towards food for the inmates. So taxpayers are asking themselves, where's the other $36.5 billion going every year? The cost is only on the rise as overcrowding in prisons is more than evident. So according to the U.S. National Debt Clock, we as a nation are $18 trillion in debt as of October 24, 2015, and it is only on the rise. The money that is being spent on prisons can be put to better use. For example, Cal State LA is underfunded when it comes to parking. That is exactly why we hear students complaining about how there isn't enough parking spots on campus. We need to take some of that money and build new facilities for underfunded schools, and not just as a university system, but as a educational system as a whole. This is a great example on how all of that overspent money can be put to better use. So today I spoke about the causes and implications that overspending on prison systems and underspending on education has on this country as a whole.